In a sunny village between green hills lived Alara, a kind old woman in a cottage with blue shutters and a garden bursting with color. Her days were simple, tending flowers, baking bread, and sharing kindness with neighbors. The cottage was filled with warmth, sunlight, and the scent of fresh bread. Alara believed a little kindness could brighten the world. On this morning, the sun shone especially bright, as if something magical was about to happen. Alara sipped tea by her window, listening to birdsong and feeling at peace. She had no idea her day was about to change. Sometimes the biggest joys arrive in the smallest, most unexpected ways. Life is funny that way. As Alara enjoyed the gentle warmth of the morning sun streaming through her window, she felt a deep sense of peace settle over her cozy home. The world outside was quiet, save for the soft rustle of leaves and the distant hum of life beginning anew. It was a moment she cherished, a time to reflect and simply be present. Suddenly, her tranquility was interrupted by a faint, desperate chirp, so soft it could have been mistaken for the wind. Alara paused, her senses sharpening as she listened intently, realizing that the sound was coming from just outside her window. Peering down, she spotted a tiny baby sparrow lying helplessly on the grass below. Its wing was bent at an odd angle, and its small body trembled with fear and pain. The sight tugged at her heartstrings, stirring a wave of empathy within her. Alara's heart ached for the fragile creature. She knew that out in the wild, such a tiny bird would have little chance of survival on its own. The urge to help was immediate and overwhelming. Without hesitation, she hurried outside, her slippers barely making a sound on the dewy grass. Kneeling beside the sparrow, she spoke in gentle, soothing tones, hoping to calm its frightened heart. With the utmost care, Alara scooped the delicate bird into her hands. She could feel its tiny heartbeat fluttering rapidly against her palm, a reminder of how fragile and precious life can be. Inside, she prepared a soft bed in a small basket, lining it with warm cloths and placing it in a sunlit corner of her kitchen. She wanted the sparrow to feel safe, protected, and comforted. Leaning close, Alara whispered, "You'll be safe here, little one, I promise." Her words were a gentle lullaby, meant to reassure the frightened bird that it was no longer alone. The sparrow, sensing her kindness, nestled deeper into the soft bedding. Its eyes fluttered closed, comforted by the warmth and care it now received. Alara knew that helping the sparrow heal would take time and patience. She gathered what little first aid she had, determined to do everything in her power to give the bird a fighting chance. This small act of compassion filled her heart with purpose. In caring for the sparrow, she found a renewed sense of connection to the world around her. Day by day, Alara became the bird's protector and friend, watching over it with gentle devotion. Their bond grew stronger with each passing moment. Sometimes the simplest acts of kindness, offering shelter, a gentle touch, or a few kind words, can change the course of a life, both for the giver and the receiver. In the end, it's these moments of compassion and connection that truly matter, reminding us of the power we all hold to make a difference, no matter how small. Alara knew the sparrow needed food and water. The tiny creature trembled in her hands, its feathers ruffled and eyes wide with fear. She could see how fragile it was, and her heart ached for the little life that had landed in her care. Alara remembered stories from her childhood, when her mother would nurse injured animals back to health, and she felt a gentle determination rise within her. She made a soft paste of bread and water, feeding it gently with a tiny spoon. Each drop was given with patience, her hands steady and kind. She spoke softly to the bird, hoping her voice would soothe its nerves. The sparrow's beak opened hesitantly at first, but soon it began to accept the nourishment, its trust growing with every careful feeding. At first the bird was scared, but Alara's patience won its trust. She named him Pip. She spent hours by his side, humming lullabies and offering gentle words. Slowly, Pip's fear faded, replaced by curiosity and a faint spark of hope. Alara knew that trust was the first step toward healing. Day by day, she fed and cared for Pip, tending his injured wing. She fashioned a tiny bandage and checked it often, making sure Pip was comfortable and safe. The routine became a ritual, a quiet promise that she would not give up on him. Pip grew stronger, chirping and fluttering with joy. His once feeble wings began to stretch and flap, and his eyes sparkled with new life. The house filled with the sound of his tiny song, a melody of gratitude and hope. Alara watched with pride as he healed. She marveled at his resilience, feeling a deep connection to the little bird she had saved. Each day she saw the difference her care had made, and it filled her with quiet joy. Her kindness transformed Pip from a frightened fledgling into a healthy young bird. The change was remarkable, a testament to the power of compassion and gentle care. Pip was no longer just a guest. He was a part of her world. Her love gave Pip a second chance. The bond they shared was built on trust, patience, and gentle care. Pip's recovery was a daily reminder of the healing power of compassion. Kindness, she believed, was its own reward. Alara found joy in giving, expecting nothing in return. The happiness in Pip's eyes was all the thanks she needed. Sometimes, a gentle hand is all it takes. A simple act of care can change the course of a life, bringing hope where there was once only fear. And Pip was family now. In the warmth of Alara's home, he found safety, love, and a place to belong, a testament to the quiet power of kindness. The day finally arrived for Pip to return to the wild, a day Alara had both longed for and quietly dreaded. The garden was bathed in the soft golden light of dawn, dew sparkling on every leaf, as if the world itself was holding its breath for this special moment. Pip's wing, once so fragile, was now strong and sure. He fluttered and stretched, testing the air, his tiny heart beating with anticipation and courage. He was ready to embrace the sky. Alara cradled him gently, her hands trembling with a mix of pride and sadness. She carried him outside, her heart swelling with bittersweet joy, knowing she had done all she could for her little friend. "It's time, little friend," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion as she held him close for one last precious moment. The bond they had formed was deep, and saying goodbye was harder than she had imagined. Pip looked up at her, his bright eyes shining with gratitude and trust. With a final gentle squeeze, Alara opened her hands and Pip launched himself into the cool morning air, wings beating strong and true. He circled above her head, singing a bright, joyful farewell song that echoed through the garden. His melody was a thank you, a promise, and a celebration all at once. Alara watched, shielding her eyes from the sun, as Pip soared higher and higher, until he was just a speck against the endless blue. She stood rooted in place, her heart aching with both loss and pride. In that quiet moment, she felt both empty and fulfilled. She had given Pip the greatest gift she could, his freedom. The garden felt different now, quieter, but also filled with a new sense of hope. The joy of helping, of nurturing a life and setting it free was her true reward. Alara smiled softly, knowing she had made a difference, no matter how small. With a heart full of love and memories, she returned to her cozy cottage, the walls echoing with the laughter and song of her feathered friend. Sometimes, letting go is the greatest act of love we can offer. It is in release that we find true connection and meaning. But as Alara sat by her window, she knew the story wasn't over yet. Life always has more chapters to unfold. The universe, in its mysterious ways, has a gentle habit of returning kindness to those who give it freely. Alara's heart brimmed with hope for what was yet to come. Days later, Alara found a strange seed on her windowsill. She sensed it was a gift from Pip, a thank you. Curious, she planted it in her garden. The seed sprouted overnight, growing into a vibrant vine. It climbed her cottage walls, leaves unfurling like magic. Soon, a large pale flower bloomed, followed by a gourd. The gourd grew bigger each day, round and deep green. Alara watched in awe as the vine transformed her home. She knew this was no ordinary plant. It was a living reminder of Pip's gratitude. Sometimes, kindness returns in the most magical ways. The vine was a miracle in her garden, and the gourd held a secret. When the gourd was ripe, Alara brought it inside. She cut it open and gasped. Inside were shimmering gold coins. The gourd never emptied, no matter how many coins she took. It was a magical gift, Pip's way of repaying her kindness. Alara felt gratitude, not greed. She knew the treasure was meant to be shared. With this gift, she could help her village. The gourd was more than gold. It was a chance to spread kindness. Alara's heart overflowed with wonder. She decided to use the treasure for good. Kindness had come full circle. The sparrow's gift would change many lives. And Alara's story was just beginning.
Know you've been a good friend.
Alara remained humble, using her fortune to help her village thrive in every possible way. She rebuilt bridges, opened a school, and ensured no one in her community ever went hungry or felt alone. Her cottage was always filled with laughter, warmth, and friends who cherished her kindness. The village soon became known far and wide for its generosity and joy, all because of one simple act of kindness to a tiny sparrow. Alara never forgot Pip, leaving seeds on her windowsill for visiting birds, hoping to see her friend again. She learned that true treasure is the joy of giving and sharing with others. Kindness always finds its way back to you, often when you least expect it. So be kind. You never know what magic it might bring into your life.